हेलो। जी। Who is it? Is it the every time you have a new entrance participant? That's very good. Oh no, Amarnath ji has come. Good morning, sir. You're on mute. You are on mute, Amarnath ji. Amarnath ji, you are on mute. Ah,
Hello, everybody.
good morning.
Good morning. So I see about 6, 7 people. Yeah, good. So while everybody is joining, um, uh, Bhavanji, I tell you, I talked to Murariji today. Just now, I
Oh,
finished talking to him,
oh,
and
acha.
and interestingly, he and I we know each other
Oh,
because
nice.
because the reason is that we both are together active on Mithila Historical and Archaeological Society. He is a archaeologist. He's doing his PhD in history and archaeology
Oh,
right now from Darbhanga,
okay,
and I have
okay.
interest in history. So I started a few years back Mithila Historical and Archaeological Society, where I'm trying to get all the people who are interested in history to come there and get that going, like have like annual conferences on history of Mithila, economics of history, something like that. So I have been in touch with him, so it was very nice that you gave me his contact.
That's in the world. The world is really very small.
Yes, and he told me a very interesting story. I told him
Hmm.
that probably not many of you know that, but not many people know that why I write Bakshi in my last name, because there is a historical reason for that. So that will be a topic of history topic sometime later. And one of the my family member was Mahamopadhyay Mukundja Bakshi. He wrote the very first book on history of Mithila in 1904. It was published from Banaras, called Mithila Bhasamaya Itihas. It is in Maithili and it's on history of Mithila. That was the very first book written on history of Mithila. And I have been trying to. It is out of print. It's not available, and I was thinking, how can we get it reprinted? So he also gave me good news that already Sanskrit University is publishing that reprint of that book. So it looks like Darbhanga Sanskrit University is doing a lot of work. I was so impressed. I had not very good opinion about them, but it seems that in the field of publication they are doing very good.
Ah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think
Good.
they have brought out many publications now.
Yeah. All right. So I think everybody is here. Hello, everybody. How are you? You ready for the big talk? Uh, uh,
Yeah.
Let me just give, if there is any new person, a short introduction.
Yeah.
Chaturanan Mallik is a former scientist of Bhabha Atomic Research Center, and he worked at different places. He has traveled all over the world for his projects in there, and basically you can call him, he's the father of cyclotron project in India. So he has the biggest, one of the biggest country. He is one of the big contributor of Indian science. Let's give him a big applause to him for coming today. And he's going to talk today about cyclotron development in India. So thank you, Mallik ji. All
Yes.
floor is all yours.
But I see few new people here, not the old. Day before yesterday, there were a different set of people, and today we have. I can say Alok. Okay, can you give one brief introduction about yourself?
Sir, I am Alok from Darbhanga. I am a student for
You're a science student. Pankaj, why don't you get them introduced, all of them, new ones?
Sir,
Apeksha is there. She's a school girl, I think.
actually, Aryan, sir, Aryan is a younger boy in a class, so you can talk with them, sir.
Oh, he's
Apeksha
a
is
little
there.
boy.
Apeksha.
You can
Yes, sir.
introduce yourself. Apeksha, please introduce yourself.
Yes, of course. Hello, everyone. My name is Apeksha. I read in class 7. My
Class
hobbies,
7.
yes, sir. My hobbies are to dance and sometimes I paint.
Oh, good.
In my
And
free
then,
time, I also like to listen music.
okay, good. And what about Akanksha?
Hello, so I am also a student. My name is Akansha. I currently study in class 9. I'm from
Okay,
Bihar, India.
okay.
My
Bihar,
hobbies
which
are
place?
to
Bihar, which place?
Bihar, Darbhanga,
Oh,
in
good.
Darbhanga.
Oh, good.
My hobbies are to paint and drawing. I also like to listen to music. I have two siblings, one sister and one brother.
So, do you like to listen to science talks also?
Yes, always I have always found science as an interesting subject. There are many things that you can learn from science.
So, can you talk 5 minutes about any science topic? Do you get interest in science?
Yes, I'm interested in science, but I'm not confident that I will be able to talk 5 minutes.
Oh, good, very good. So actually, I'll be also very brief. So after that, you are going to talk, and we have two others. Why my mobile is not showing those two others? Pankaj, is it from admin? You have to do the setting. No, why my mobile doesn't show them? It shows only 8 people maximum.
No, that's fine. But if you click on that icon, you can see everybody name.
Okay. Okay. Huh.
Yeah, you have to click on that icon to see everybody name. At least it will print the name of everybody.
Sorry, just I made a mistake. Yeah, that name is there, but why can't I see them? Okay. Okay, so no, I'm not going. I am just. I am C Malik, and I was. Yeah, the last time I gave a brief about myself, and Amarnath ji has already told you what I was in the accelerator building of accelerators in this country in Kolkata, which is a unit of Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So I hope you have heard about Bhabha Atomic Research Center. So I will just, we are going to chat. I'm not going to, it's not a course that I'm going to give anything. We are going to chat a little bit and gossip, and you can stop me wherever you think that you want more information or you have not understood, then I'll stop and we discuss. So I would like to finish in 15 minutes so that other people can also speak or ask questions. So before I start, what is a cyclotron? Let me try to understand something which you all know, because I think the lowest one is class 7. So she also must be knowing what is the atomic structure. You know, from thousands of years, people have been trying to know what is the smallest thing that which is there, and people knew that it's an atom. They used to call it. By atom itself means that, but what it is, it's only after 18th century or 19th century that we started learning what an atom is. It so happened. Well, I think to be brief, since we are all neutral, and people learned that atom consists of proton, neutron, and electron. Now, proton is a positively charged particle, electron is a negatively charged particle, and neutron is neutral. So, in the early 19th century, rather 20th century, I would say, people thought that atom is like a khichdi. I don't know what you call in English khichdi. It's a khichdi. It's a kind of khichdi. It's a round thing, and it's khichdi. All electrons, protons, neutrons are mixed up, and all that. It is. It so happened that in England, I think where our other member, I think Sharadji is not there. Rutherford, made a very big discovery. What he did is that he bombarded some energetic particles, proton, through the atom. And since he thought that it is a khichdi, so there will be a uniform. When the protons go through it, there will be a uniform image will be there. He was shocked to find that all the protons, they just entered and went to the other side. Only few were deflected. And this gave the reason that the atom is not a khichdi at all. It's something which there is very concentrated mass is there in the middle, and there are electrons around it. So then it came to be known that the in the center you have protons and neutrons. Means the center is positively charged, and the outside you have electrons which are moving. So in sum total, it's a neutral. Every atom is neutral. We are all neutral. See, we are made of atoms. We are all neutral. This was a very big idea. Now people thought that how do we understand atom? They figured it out that the size of the atom is very small. You can neither see it by a microscope, nor you can see even by electron microscope. Then how do we understand what the nucleus is? So there is an analogy, how what happens is that suppose a thief goes to steal somewhere, and he finds that there is a dark building. He doesn't know what is there inside the building. So what he does is that he throws a stone. Suppose the stone just goes through the building, then he thinks that, okay, there is nothing inside. But if it stops or rebounds, then he will know, okay, there could be an almirah there could be something there is there. This is what is used in trying to understand the nucleus. You will be very much surprised. Apeksha, are you able to understand it? Hello? Oh, Aryan has a question. Yeah, why not? Go ahead.
Sir, I am in 5th grade right now.
Oh my God! So you have you are, so Apeksha is in 7th and you are in 5th. Good. So so then have you heard about the atoms?
Yes.
So atoms, how it looks, it's not like a khichdi. The atoms are, in the center you have got protons and neutrons. Have you heard of protons and neutrons?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they are in the center. And they are very big particles. A proton is 2,000 times heavier than electron. Even neutron is heavier than electron. Electrons are very small particles, and electrons keep on rotating around the nucleus. That is what. So people learned that the center. We want to understand what is there in the nucleus. You remember, I don't know whether it is taught in chemistry books or not. In 16th and 17th century, people were trying to make gold from different elements. They thought that by chemical reaction, some gold can be made. but they failed. They failed. They, in fact, big scientists of 16th and 15th century, they were involved in making gold out of other elements, because if they get a lot of gold, then they can become rich. So what happened is that none of them succeeded. This is altogether a subject which is known. If you Google, you'll see alchemy, then you will know about it. That how many people wasted their life in just trying to make gold. The reason why they failed is that by chemical reaction, you cannot change the nucleus. You see, in the nucleus, we understand an element by the number of protons in the nucleus. If there is one proton, we call it hydrogen. If there are two protons, we call it helium. Similarly, like say in case of gold, there are 79 protons. If there are 80 protons, it is some other element like that. So we wanted to understand this nucleus in the 20th century. And we had to adopt the way the thieves do it. Just throw a stone and things will come out, something will break, something will come out, and you try to collect what has come out. And from that, you try to figure out that what is there inside that nucleus. So
But
this is where, hello,
yes, sir, I have a question for you. Then what
sure, sure.
makes protons and other things like neutrons and electrons? What make other things like protons and neutrons?
Okay, that you have asked a very advanced question, by the way. Now,
Um,
protons again are
Quark-
made of quarks. But this
quarks.
we will come later. Yeah, this will come later. Someday I will talk about it. And we are all made of protons, neutrons, and electrons. And so we are made of quarks. Even
Yes.
neutron is made of quarks. Electron is not made of quarks. Electron is a fundamental particle. But
Oh,
protons are made of quarks. You are made of quarks.
mm,
So what happened is that all scientists, they thought that the only way, because we can't see it by the electron microscope, we can't see it by any other microscope, an atom, then we can't study, you see. So they said that only way is that you throw stones or you send particles. It will go enter the nucleus will break, and something will come out, and we'll see what is there. And that is what it started. Then how do we send? Now what happens is that suppose I send a proton to the nucleus. The nucleus is positively charged, proton is positively charged, they will repel each other, and proton can never reach the nucleus. Then how do you
mm,
break it? So that is where it came that we need energetic particles. We want protons with high energy. Now how do you make high energy? How do you give energy to anything? Suppose I am there, I fall from a roof, then it is the gravitational force which brings me down. But that is
yes.
too small, gravitational force is very small. So the only other force is the electric force, which can accelerate a particle, a charged particle. It can do nothing to a neutral particle. A charged particle can be accelerated by a electric field. Now, if you make an electric field, suppose you have got two plates and you have a battery, and you connect the positive of the battery to one plate and negative of the battery of another plate. So there will be a voltage difference and there will be electric field. So if you put a proton inside that, protons will get accelerated. So it is by electric field that we can accelerate particles. But question problem arose that you cannot generate very high voltage because we wanted very energetic particles, almost the velocity of light. So there was a gentleman called Lawrence in USA. He suggested a very nice thing that, okay, we can't generate very high voltage. What we do is that we accelerate the particle, proton or electron or anything, between two plates, and again, by bring them back using magnetic field. In a magnetic field, the particles, they rotate. So you
Large
can
hadron.
bring, yes.
Are you talking about Large Hadron Collider?
No,
I
no,
think
I'm not talking about that. I will talk about that later. So it's good Large Hadron Collider. So I'm talking right now about accelerator, very small accelerators which were built when I was not born, when you were not born, when roughly around the time when my grandfather was there. So they built particle accelerators using voltage plates. There is a battery, and you give voltage 10 volts, 20 volts, and you create electric field and you accelerate them. But then you need very high voltage. And if there is high voltage, you know how your switches, if there is a high voltage, starts sparking and things like that. So it was very difficult to make a very high voltage. So Lawrence in USA, he said, okay, no, we can't make very high voltage. Let us make small voltage, but make the particle come again and again to the same place so that it gets accelerated again and again. And that is what the cyclotron he invented sometime in 1920. Remember, 1920, around in 20s of the cyclotron, exactly it is around 27, 28, something he could demonstrate that a cyclotron works. So what does a cyclotron do? A cyclotron merely gives very high energy to the particles, and then we bombard the nucleus. When we bombard the nucleus breaks. It sends out neutrons, it sends out protons in all directions. And what we do, we have detectors and we collect them. And then we try to understand what this nucleus is. So this is how but there, after that, there were two, World War was there, so all the science progress was stopped. So it was in 50s again when the war stopped. People started thinking now it's time again to understand the nucleus, and the cyclotrons came into the picture initially. You may be surprised, in the world there are 40,000 accelerators.
Oh.
You heard of them? In India, we have about 60 or 70, but worldwide it is 40,000 accelerators. So many accelerators we have, and there are big accelerators. Like say you have in that Large Hadron Collider is a 27 kilometer, 27 kilometer circumference. So now let me right now stick to India. So what we did is that in 1970, actually it was started by Homi Bhabha. Just now Amarnath ji said that I can be called father of cyclotron. No, actually it's Homi Bhabha we should call the father of accelerators in this country actually. So he said that India must have a cyclotron. Why? Why India needs a cyclotron? Because we want to understand the nucleus. And after understanding the nucleus, we will learn how to get nuclear energy. Bhabha Atomic Research Center is about nuclear energy actually. So we need to have a cyclotron. So the first cyclotron was established in Kolkata in 1979. I was in Kolkata from 1978, and I was part of that first cyclotron. And it took about 10 years to build it. So the first cyclotron, we call it VEC, Variable Energy Cyclotron, was built. And that time it was the biggest east of Suez, Egypt, in the east of Egypt, if you go there were no as big cyclotron as this one. Even Japan didn't have it. Even China didn't. In 1979 in Kolkata, we had the cyclotron. The magnet is huge, 300 tons. Do you know how much a ton is?
1000 kg.
You're right. So 300 tons of magnet is there, which is made so that the particles can be, turned around so that it can come to the same place to get accelerated. And then we can get very high energy particles, high energy protons, as much as the velocity of light. In fact, in Calcutta cyclotron, we accelerate protons almost to the 1/6 of the velocity of light. Very high energy. Now question arises, what are the other benefits we get? We understand nucleus. Other things that happened is that what we found is that when the nucleus enters when a proton enters a nucleus, it changes the nucleus also. It can change the property of the nucleus. It can change the element. In fact, I recall very much, in 81. See, you can change the element. You can change, this platinum to gold, which you can't do by the chemical reaction. You can change mercury to gold. Mercury, the thermometer which has that mercury. You can change mercury to gold. How? Because mercury has got about 80 protons. This this and the gold has got 79 protons. So if you do something that one proton is added to it, then you get one proton is subtracted from it, then mercury becomes a gold. You can make it. In fact, it so happened that oh, sorry, there was an interruption. So it so happened that when I was there, when I joined here, a king of Orissa, he came. So he was direct king of Orissa. He came to our place and he said that he wants to buy this cyclotron. So my director was there. He sent that king to me, that please explain to him that why he wants to buy this cyclotron, because that time we had spent so much money. And the king came. So king knocked at my room, door. Then he came in. Then his assistant told that he is the king of Orissa. Earlier, Narayanpur, some place was there. He was the king there. Very fat person and very looking very tall and all that. He came this and I asked him, why have you come? He said, I want to make gold. Please help me. Just I'll get a small interruption. Just please.
All right. So while he's coming back, uh, I think you all, especially the students, you should be ready your questions. Make a note of the questions you have in mind. Let him finish uh, his lecture. That's normally the rule in conferences are. You should not interrupt the speaker while he is trying to make his presentation, because then his thoughts can be broken by your question. So rule is that you save your questions, you make a note of it, and then when he has finished his presentation, then you ask questions. So I request all of you to follow that rule. Thank you. I think he's back now. I think he has some uh, connection issue. Let's give him a minute.
Hello, I just came to say hello to everybody. Sorry. Hello,
Hello,
Amarnath ji.
sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Deepak ji. Good
Hello.
to see you.
Yeah, I don't get a lot of time, but
Yeah,
Pankaj keeps pinging me, and whenever I see that ping, and I think I am between meetings, office meetings, then I try to join.
yeah.
I'll just listen and carry on. Very good conversation. I was listening to Mallik sir about his astrophysics and particle theory speeches, so it was very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Let us continue kind of having more, professionals, accomplished professionals to deliver lectures, and that will help the students, especially, and all of us.
Yeah.
Plus, that will attract some new people to come to this forum.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, it can be an English speaking session. Plus, if we talk about good things, then it can also be a knowledge spinning session, I guess. Yeah.
yes.
Yes. Why not?
Maybe you can think of a topic which one day you can deliver a lecture, because science now every Thursday we are trying to make topic science, something
Yeah.
related to science.
Good.
So you can think of something which you may like to talk. Maybe one day I'll talk about electronics, how the semiconductor works, because that is my field. So like that, we will try to, especially those who are already coming here, we can begin the process by adding more and more topics, and then we will ask some other experts to come and join. Uh,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a very good idea. Gives us an opportunity to speak English, and also uh, we gain from each other's knowledge.
exactly. Yeah.
Now look at the simple way in which Malik sir is presenting some of the some of the good concepts of astrophysics.
Yes. So I want to ask student, in which class do you read about Rutherford experiment? Can you guys tell me in India, where do you, in which level, you class level, you learn that?
In
Which
ninth
grade?
class.
Which class is that?
In ninth
10th?
class. In ninth
Ninth
class.
class. Okay. All right. So then Aryan is way ahead. What about Akansha? Did you hear about it before? Akansha and Apeksha? Can you hear me? Apeksha and Akansha, have you heard of this? Since you are in the ninth class now, Akansha, and Apeksha in seventh, I'm just curious to see if they have heard about it. Looks like Aryan already heard about it. So Alok, you are in the college, I assume.
Yes, sir.
And what is your subject in college?
Physics.
Oh, then this is perfect for you. Very nice. You must be enjoying it, this discussion.
Can you hear me now? Pankaj, can you hear me?
Yes, you are audible.
Amarnathji, can you hear me?
Yes, continue.
No, but I can't hear you all. All the mics are on mute. Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Hello,
Go.
can you hear?
Hear me?
Yes.
No, I can't hear you. No, I have ended my talk. This was just a, what do you call? No, I can't hear. I can't hear.
Rejoin. Come back. Can you text him?
Okay.
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello? I have rejoined. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
No?
Okay. Just somebody should text him if that way is possible. That yes, you are audible. Continue your talk.
Hello? Can you hear now? Okay. So if there are any questions, I have just tried to understand that why we need accelerators. So if you have any questions, by the way, for young people like you, it's a good idea to get into the accelerator field, because there are a lot of jobs in the accelerator field. And here we need electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, and computer scientist, and also artificial intelligence. Yeah, I can't hear you all.
Can you hear me, Mallik sir?
Hello? Hello, can you hear now? Can you hear?
Yes.
Can you? Yes. Oh, this is a, why this happens, this rejoining thing has to be done every time. Hello? Yeah, I have rejoined. I can hear you. But I can't hear Amarnath ji.
Okay. Can you hear me
Yeah,
now?
yeah, I can
Yeah.
hear you now. I can
Okay.
hear
So,
you.
so in future, if you when you ask, "Am I audible?" and if you are not able to listen to us, but if we show you the thumbs up, means yes, we
Acha.
can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, that I got it. But I was not able to hear you all.
Okay. Okay. So for all of us, so when when you are trying to speak and you are not sure if you are audible or not, but if somebody gives you this signal thumbs up, means yes, you are
Yeah.
audible. If you are a speaker, you can
Good.
continue at least.
Yeah,
All right.
good. Thank you very much. So there was a girl, no, she wanted to talk 5 minutes about science.
No, I think
Acha,
she was saying that she cannot talk for 5 minutes.
oh, is it?
Aryan, maybe Aryan will speak, sir, with you 5 minutes.
So, do you have any questions about my talk? Then that will finish. Then we'll go to let other people also talk about science.
Yeah. I think let's continue with the questions first. Everybody should ask
Yeah.
question if you have any.
Any question, you don't worry whether it is right, wrong. You can ask the question.
Oh. Yes, sir. Right now, no.
Okay.
Mallik sir, I have one question.
Sure, please.
Mallik sir, making kind of as you said earlier, kind of but the making gold is very easy.
How?
As you said about that in the thermometer having one kind of electron or what you can say. So one neutron or proton, which kind of combination, by this kind of adding this combination, we can making gold. So is it easy to make gold, or so why people are still kind of doing various research kind of where gold khan is there, right? But
No,
you
no, Prem, you missed it. Actually, what I said is that, see, how do we know the elements? Elements are known by number of protons.
okay.
Yes. So gold has got 79 protons. Mercury has got 80 protons. Platinum has got 78 protons. So by using a cyclotron, what I can do is that I can throw a proton, let us say in platinum, and add one more proton to platinum nucleus, and it becomes gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
is it any scientific kind of lab is it available in India or part of the world where people are making gold as per their requirement?
No, that is what I said. But to make gold, it can be made. In fact, there experiments have been done. People make gold. People change the element in an accelerator. By nuclear reaction, you can change any element as you like. By chemical reaction, you cannot do it. So this gold also you can get it by using say mercury, or you can buy platinum, or there are many. So you can convert the number. You see, you throw a proton. Say in case of, let us say, mercury, if I remove one proton, it becomes gold. How do you remove that proton? You remove the proton by throwing some proton from outside, an energetic proton. All, so it takes away the proton. I mean, there is a process, but it is very costly. That is what I said, that 1 kg of mercury will give you zero point 0.7 grams of gold. So nobody tries to make it.
Sir, I
But
have a question here. My name is Deepak Jha. I have a question here.
sure,
I
sure, please.
understand that the chemical behavior of uh, of an atom is determined by the not only by the nucleus but also by the arrangement of electrons revolving around it, the shells as they call it. So
Right.
even if you do something to the nucleus that changes its characteristics, and say for example you take away a proton or you add a proton, and you achieve that atomic number of gold, what do you
Right.
do about the electrons that are surrounding it and which ultimately determine the chemical behavior of that atom?
Yeah, so once, let us say, the proton is added to, let us say, any atom. Let us say theoretically we say that the proton is added. See, it then, to become stable and neutral, it adds another electron to itself to become stable. Because
All
in
right.
any metal or any environment, there are a lot of electrons are there. So it just
Yeah.
catches up another electron and it becomes stable.
To become electrically neutral.
Electrically neutral, that is what it is.
All right. Okay.
See, the other kind of studies which we are doing is, say, we using accelerators, is that how in the universe all these elements have been formed. Like say the sun, like say on Earth, we have got almost all the elements which are there in the universe we have on the Earth. But Earth doesn't produce any elements, and neither it has come from the sun. It has been made in one of the nebula explosions. All these elements of which you are made. By the way, don't you believe yourself that you are made from a star? There was a nebula explosion was there, and all the masses got dispersed in the universe, and some of them collected, and formed this Earth, Moon, and all these things where all the elements are there. Because on the Earth there is no way of making elements except accelerators. Except accelerators, there is no way you can change the element number. So all these elements have been made in some stars, in some nebula, which exploded and got dispersed in the whole universe, and then collected and formed the solar system and things like that. And that's how you all are made from stars. You all are made from nebula. You don't believe it, but it is true.
Also, I have one question that about a star, that we are, yes, we are a star dust, but we also, when you go to do the blood test, you see all the elements in your blood. If anyone have carefully looked at different elements, metallic and non-metallic, so
Right.
how all those elements come in our body, uh, is it also from there itself, from the stardust?
No, our body is made from whatever is there on the earth. So whatever the cells needs, mostly it is carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen and oxygen. But roughly about in our body, about 78 elements are present. And they do different kinds of jobs. Copper is there. All kinds of elements are there. 78 elements are present in our body in small amount or big amount. But mostly it is hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen. So, and they come, I mean, they have got a specific role in our body. Our body is made from whatever was present on the earth. if a planet doesn't have all the elements from which a body can be made, then the life doesn't come up there actually.
Okay. Thank you.
Fortunately, yeah.
Yeah. There is another question I have for you is that now this all theories of electron, proton, and neutron, Bohr, Neil, all these theories are kind of now history. We have already gone into the modern era where we think that even these particles are made up of some other particles,
Yes.
which you are going to talk about. So, can you please tell us where are we? What are the latest particles? What are the smallest latest particles right now we are dealing with? And if we do experiment with those particles in these accelerators, uh, how it would how it would be different than bombarding the um, protons?
See, in very big accelerators, when let us say proton falls on let us say silver nucleus, it makes with very high energy, almost 0.999 of the velocity of light. And then, very new particles are formed in that, say, quarks are observed. So it in the 70s, in earlier century, we had it. So now we know there are hadrons are there, leptons are there, a group of particles, fundamental particles. Right now, we don't know what quarks are made of. So quarks have turned out to be fundamental particles. And in the lepton side, we have got electrons and photons and positrons and things like that. So these are there. So in the accelerator, we can create, a situation where you can completely smash the proton and neutron and get the quarks. In fact, the other particles recently which came, I think, which people have, God's particle. You might have heard of God's particle. Actually, it is a Higgs boson. Now, there is a standard model in physics which predicted that there should be a Higgs boson kind of particle should be there, which will explain what mass is. My weight is 70 kgs. It's a mass. So this mass, what is this mass? So this mass comes from Higgs boson. So people made this huge accelerator, which that girl was talking about, Large Hadron Collider. In that, they have found this Higgs boson. There could be many more fundamental particles are there. So as the energy increases, right now we have a limitation of money actually. See, America was trying to build a 88-kilometer long circumference accelerator. But John F. Kennedy stopped it because they said we can't afford to make it. So a smaller accelerator was made in Switzerland with the help of all the countries. Now we need to make bigger and bigger accelerators so that we can understand our universe, how the universe started and things like that. Presently, the major focus in science is we want to understand. You'll be surprised, of course, the universe has more of hydrogen. Hydrogen and helium is very much there, but the different elements which are there, like iron, they also are very huge in number actually. And some elements are very small in quantity. So we want to understand how it forms in a nebula, how these different elements are formed. So major thrust in science research right now is trying to understand in the universe how these elements are getting formed. It's a very, I mean, people, I see quite young people, if you are interested in physics, the next 100 years is going to be very, very interesting because we will try to understand universe in more details. You must take up physics and science and
So, young students, here is your opportunity to shine and become a scientist. There is a lot of things yet to be known, which we don't
yes, yes.
understand.
No, even our knowledge if you compare what is the percentage of things we know, We don't know even 1% of the universe. 99% is yet to be known. It may surprise you. See, even in nucleus, we don't understand many things. Still, till the day I retired, people were working hard, how to understand the nucleus, because India wants to build fast breeder reactors. So we want to understand the heavy nucleus. And India has got a lot of thorium. So we want to make fast breeder reactors. There is no other country except France is interested in making fast breeder reactors. Fast breeder reactors is a reactor in what happens is that you give some fuel to it, uranium fuel, and you produce more fuel. Because India doesn't have uranium, you see. We are buying from others. But India has a lot of thorium all the way from Kerala to Goa and all that. So we want to convert thorium to uranium and then use it in a nuclear reactor. All our uranium which was there in Jamshedpur, near Jamshedpur, they're all exhausted. I mean, none of them can be used. So we are trying to understand the nucleus. First, we have to understand the materials which are used, their properties in an accelerator. So
Sir,
other countries don't. Yes, sure. Yes.
how can I become a scientist in geography?
No, you see, you can become a scientist even you can study science at home and become a scientist. But if you want to join an institution, then you have to do. I mean, if you do geography, then of course nobody will take you, isn't it? So you have to study science in school and in college, then take up, say, physics, take up chemistry, take up other some astrophysics and things like that.
All right.
Yeah,
To add on to your question, you if you are understanding geography, you are already a scientist. What he
Yes,
is talking
I
about is
think
a physicist. So you cannot become a physicist, but you are already a scientist in
yes.
geography, and you can be a great mathematician. Like I'm sure you have studied or you are going to study topography, right? And that is topography is the mathematics of geography, just like mathematics is the language of science. Similarly, topography is the language of geography. So there is geology and geography, they go together, and you can do a lot of study in that area where maybe you can come up with we don't have the uh, uh, we haven't yet discovered a lot of uranium and other this precious metals. Maybe uh, if you combine the geology and geography together, you can figure out something about it. So yes, uh,
But
it's very important that you pursue the area where you have interest. The science has so many branch arms and legs. It doesn't have to be physics, it doesn't have to be chemistry, it doesn't have to be it has to be something which you like to do research on, and then pursue in that area and improve that area better and better, understand that area better and better.
yeah, that's true. Very much true, actually. See, I will tell you, there is a gentleman in science, Dirac. He was very famous in physicist. He got Nobel Prize in physics, but he was actually an electrical engineer.
okay, thank you,
So,
sir.
and you have an example of Albert Einstein, who failed his joint entrance test. Do you know that? He could not qualify in the joint entrance test, and then he took up a small job in Germany, and somewhere people say he became a librarian and things like that. But then he contributed to science very much. So science you can pursue at home anything, but if you want to join an institution, you have to take up a science subject. And geography, I tell you, has got a lot of science in it.
So, talking about Einstein, I would like to say something about it, that I live here in Princeton, which was his hometown. When he moved from Switzerland and Germany to America, he came to Princeton University, and
Right.
he was not living too far away, like maybe 3-4 kilometers away from my home, where his original home is when he was living in America. and that is still highly visited home, as you can see it. It's when you go to that street, there is already a kind of sign that Albert Einstein's home. So
Oh,
if you happen to come to Princeton, visit me. I'll take you over there, especially these young students, to get inspiration from him. And he was a big professor. But there are stories about him when he was doing the research. When he used to travel in the train, uh, he wouldn't know that he has to give the ticket to the conductor and all that, because when they would ask him, he would get lost in his thoughts. That what I mean, as if he doesn't understand the communication. So basic level, the basic transaction which you and I do, he was completely lost. He didn't know. But of course, he could analyze high level of physics.
yeah, good.
Apeksha, do you have any question? Let's ask all the students first. Apeksha, Alok, Akansha, Aryan, please. If you have any question, it's time to ask questions. Raise
Yes,
your
sir.
hand and ask questions.
No, sir.
No, Alok wanted to ask question, but he has gone on mute.
No, sir. I have no any questions.
Oh, okay. I,
BSc in physics.
Pankaj, I find that this mic goes on mute by itself most of the time. I don't know what is the reason behind it.
Yes, sir. So, I want to ask how to become an astrophysicist.
How to become?
An astrophysicist.
See, there is a subject called physics, and when you go to higher and higher classes, physics, chemistry, they are one and the same thing. Means studying the physical universe. So chemistry also studies that, physics also studies that. They become almost they merge actually. Now, astro, when you say, then astrophysicist studies mostly the universe. So after you have done physics, you have understood all the laws, all the concepts you have had. Then you will apply those things to the universe, means how the universe was born, how the nebulae. Right now, today's newspaper, you might have seen that there is one nebula, which emits a lot of radiation, and that radiation, it seems, is pointing towards Earth. So people are just curious that what will happen. Even I think, I don't know whether you all are reading or not. The sun is going to emit tomorrow huge amount of ions towards Earth. There could be disruption in your TV and things like that. I don't know what's going to happen. So tomorrow, Friday is going. The sun suddenly gives sending huge amount of there. So all these things are studied by astrophysics people. There are telescopes are there. There are radio telescopes are there. So if you want to understand the universe, you have to understand astrophysics. Astrophysics deals with the study of the universe. Like geologists, they study about the Earth. And geography, who said geography? He's studying geography. Hello?
Yes, sir.
No, geography, who was, just now you said no, who is studying geography actually?
Who is telling what?
No,
Avaz. The sound is
कौन
not fresh.
Yes,
actually
Bhagwan ji.
sound?
First time we see you, so can you say something about yourself?
I am Rakesh Kumar. Hello,
Yes. 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 Please continue.
sir. Hello.
Yes, Alok ji.
Rakesh is my friend. I had sent him the link to join. He is interested in science.
Oh.
No, no, Alok, you are studying geography in this school?
No, no. Alok ji is physics. I
Yes.
think geography student is left now, I think.
No, sir.
Oh, yes. Acha, okay.
Yes. So today our subject I like science. So now I request to Savita ma'am, please say something regarding this.
Yeah, good.
It will be yes, yes, Savita ma'am.
Good evening, all of you. Good evening, sir. So I'm having very little knowledge about science, but I have just listen your the theory, like whatever you are just telling about the atoms and that how so the 79 atoms are there in gold and how the mercury can be turned into a gold. So it's for listening, it's very amazing and wonderful knowledge for me. But I just want to ask something a question as I'm having very little knowledge about it. So means up to now I understood that that atomic energy is having a tremendous power in it. So how we are using it? I'm having very little knowledge about it. Is India is using this atomic energy, and for what? And for what can use it? So can we fly a aeroplane with this energy? Means what we have to do? Means what we are actually doing with this atomic energy? So I want to know that, sir, from you, please.
Yeah, so the department which in India we call it Department of Atomic Energy. So basically, it is the energy. What happens is that when an uranium atom is broken, lot of energy is released, and that energy can be used to heat water, and that heated water can produce electricity by using turbines and things like that. So nuclear energy can be used to produce power. So India uses, you may not be aware, on the western side of India, starting all the way from Maharashtra, then in Rajasthan, and we have one in Narora also in Uttar Pradesh. There are reactors are there which produce electricity. And in India, 8% of the electricity is produced by nuclear energy. So India is using the nuclear energy to produce electricity. In future, when you will not have coal and oil, then what is left? Only things left are nuclear energy and solar energy. You will be surprised in the universe. In the sun, you are getting light. That is because of the nuclear energy. There is a, proton and proton, they combine in the center of the sun, and that causes nuclear reaction. And from that reaction, photons are emitted, which you receive on Earth. You see, so whole universe, there is a nuclear energy. The whole universe, things are happening because of high temperature. The temperature is so high in the center of the stars that the nuclear process, nuclear reactions take place, and nuclear energy is produced. On Earth, we make reactors, we need to have a controlled reaction, so we make reactors. France uses 30% of nuclear energy for producing electricity. There are many countries. USA has got a lot of reactors. Most of the developed countries have reactors. India too now is a developed country. India also has a lot of reactors. 8% of the electricity produced in India is from nuclear energy. And very soon government is going to spend a lot of money to have more reactors. Now you ask that can nuclear thing be used to space rockets? Yes. In fact, it is being planned that in future, all the space rockets will be fueled by nuclear reactors. In fact, a small amount of nuclear reactor is already used. That's how in these present rockets. Very small it is, but it's going to grow. Suppose we want to travel all the way to the nearest star, which is 4 light years. We need a nuclear reactor to for the rocket. Does that satisfy you? This answer?
Yes, sir. It means nowadays we are having that e-vehicles, which is depend on electricity. So afterwards means
Yes.
that this coal something will get disappear. That time that atom energy will help us to produce more electricity, and
Already it is helping. Already it is
already
helping.
helping. So only
Yeah,
that
already.
it means that raw material is not that much sufficient. We are having it means only 8% we are producing. No, so we should
Yeah, that is
have
more. We should. Yeah, we have to put in more money to make more reactors. To build
more
a reactor
reactors.
is very expensive. To make
Okay,
an atom bomb is very cheap, actually. But to make a reactor is very expensive.
which
So
kind of
our
raw
department.
material it requires?
So uranium is required, plutonium is required. Uranium mostly it is uranium is required. But we don't have uranium. We had it in Jamshedpur, but now it's all exhausted. Now it's very low quality, so we have to buy from outside, from South Africa, from Russia, from France, other countries we have to buy.
Can this possible that uranium like a structure we can make it artificially with this help of atom theory and all?
With accelerators you can make uranium, but I told that it's so expensive to make that people will never make it. See, on experimental basis, we make it every day in accelerators. We convert the elements, one element to other element. But like say, if you make gold, the gold 1 gram will cost you more than 5 lakhs rupees. So what is the use of making it? In the market, you can buy it for some 5,000 rupees, no 1 gram. So nobody will buy for 5 lakhs rupees 1 gram of gold, isn't it? Yes,
Yes, sir.
Savita, does that satisfy you?
Yes, sir. Yes, now I got. Now I got. Yes, this is not that much easy to make.
Yeah, girls are very happy when they hear that gold can be made easily, but it's not easy. That's the whole problem.
Yes,
So,
I'm also gold lover.
so for the young girls like Apeksha and Akansha, charter for you girls are to figure out how can we cheaply make gold by the scientific process. There has to be a way, right? That's how science progresses. That something is difficult today, but next
Uh,
generation make it possible.
Amarnath, I want to add one thing to Savita that the gold she's wearing, that gold was not made on earth, by the way. That gold was made in some distant star, and that gold came by, explosion, it came to us. And she's wearing the jewelry. Not only she is a star material, she is made from materials which were formed in a star. The gold jewelry she is wearing, it was made in some star. There is
So,
no
Oh,
way to make it on earth.
so
so
what you
very
are saying
interesting.
is that Malik ji, that these all ladies are stars.
Yes, yes, you're all star materials.
So here you go. See, when you look at the stars in the night, you think that are far
Yes,
away, but you came
yes,
from there.
yes,
Imagine
yes,
how much these gold particles have traveled and
yes,
to this planet Earth.
yes.
Very interesting.
Namaste, Sarat sir.
Sharadji,
Namaste.
namaskar.
नमस्कार चतुरानंद जी, नमस्कार नमस्कार। हेलो सभी को। अमरनाथ जी नमस्कार, सविता जी।
Namaskar, namaskar.
हम्म। आप लोग तो इस
हम लोग
दरमियान काफी कुछ डिस्कस किए होंगे साइंस के बारे में।
Yeah, chal raha hai. Basically, Malik ji has given good lecture and he has impressed the ladies. How about gold? Uh,
जी जी।
it boils down to how can how the gold can be made easily. So that's the charter for the young women scientists to figure it out down the road. Right now, it can be made by experimental physics, but question is how to make it cheaply so that it's available to you and me and all the ladies down the
No,
road.
No,
absolutely.
by the way, Amarnath ji, nobody is trying to make gold in an accelerator because it's so expensive that the governments will not allow, give that money for that. And it's not productive to make gold
Yeah,
in the laboratory because it is
no,
so very expensive.
the, the point I'm trying to make is that it's not possible today, but it may be possible tomorrow in future someday that science will develop so much that maybe the methods which is not yet known to us will be known to them that they can make it cheaply, right? I mean, everything which we do today, it was 100 years back, if you think, unimaginable. Who would have thought that whatever in Bhagavad Gita, the way Sanjay was explaining by a Dibbi Drist of given by Vyasji so that he could explain to Dhritarashtra would be like a reality of our lifetime. Live television, anything is happening somewhere and you can see it sitting in your room. So like that, uh, w- once you imagine something, it's maybe not possible today. I'm very uh, positive that down the road there will be scientists will be able to figure out with your help and all the new science discoveries how to convert one metal to another, because that's the need. We got to come up with a way to figure out how can we have electrical energy from atomic energy down the road, because otherwise this planet will not be livable with so much of coal consumption and all these fossil fuels coming to an end down the road. So so this is a very good experiment which you are doing. You are putting
No,
foundations. And
actually, this is happening now. This climate change thing now has again put. It's so happened that the nuclear energy was turning out to be costly, but compared to coal and oil, they are very cheap energy source. But they are going to fade out. So now climate change people say that there are only two things. One is the solar power, which is a green energy, and one is nuclear energy, which is a green energy. So in future, we are going to see our children are going to see more of it,
yes,
more nuclear energy. Now all the countries again have revived their nuclear energy program, which they left because coal was easily available cheaply, oil was easily available very cheap. So people see China is buying everywhere oil and all that. It's so cheap. Everybody is trying to store oil. But the time will come when people will start storing uranium. We have some uranium in Mizoram, but that is a terrorist area, so we are not able to have access to it. But someday we'll have it. Government is trying to make that area a little bit peaceful. Then we start digging into the earth for uranium. But the Jamshedpur uranium is all exhausted. It's a very low quality now.
Hmm. No, absolutely correct. If where we started gold can also be got from beach mining, although it requires a lot of patience. Like in parts of Oregon and Alaska and USA, people also do beach mining and get gold. Again,
Hmm.
Hindustan copper mines in Musabani, Bobanda, Ghatchila, that also has some bit of gold. Hindustan copper mines is slowly coming up, although it is doing more of steel work, and the gold goes away to the political people. So again, as Chaturanand ji very correctly told that uh, petrol, things like petrol and gas will go away, and now hydrogen is coming. Even thorium is being used to run cars, and solar power is already being used to run cars in India. So slowly, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, or wherever oil is there, it will get significance. But then other factors, even in Finland, if you see the technology, in Finland, electricity is being produced with sand. So basically, we don't require many other natural products. So we have to save the natural product also to let the earth run properly.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, I was explaining to my young people how gold was formed in a nebula, and that there was an explosion, and all the gold has come here. And on the earth, we have no mechanism to make gold. The only way to make gold is by accelerator. But in the accelerator, you can make gold, which will be so costly that it's prohibitive to make gold. But all the gold which we have on Earth, they were all made in nebula, which exploded. So I was telling my young people that they are all they are all star materials, and their jewelry is also a star material.
Even what you told about Middle East, like I was speaking to Lieutenant General Chauhan. So most of the Middle East, the extremist problem has got over, but again, there are different tribes over there. So the tribes are also being there is positivity in bringing together the tribes also. And again, there is so much greenery. It's mainly full of greenery and forests. So there is a lot of mineral there, but at the same time, we have to consider the ergonomics of the uh, natural surrounding. And then we have to, for example, recently in Calcutta, I had a meeting with one businessman in, after Jadavpur, Kalikapur, and all that. That side he lives, and he's doing very good. So he has collaborated with a company in Finland who are making tar, that black tar with for making road with trees. So they cut a lot of trees in Finland, and in place of one tree, they are putting sowing saplings of 5 trees. But again, that will take a long time to come. So now they are making trees, but then they are using a lot of natural. So he wanted me to propagate that in UK. When they did in UK in Liverpool, then in Liverpool they found some chemical because of which they have stopped now. But then we are using a lot of natural phenomenon. So the problem is that as Chaturanan ji very correctly told, I think yesterday, or Amarnath ji, gradually the history will repeat itself, and we shall go to Mars, Jupiter, and all that, because there are mechanisms from here we can manage and bring the mineral resources from them there to here. So again, when we get adapted to the art of teleporting means like we used to see in Star Trek, that we are disintegrating the DNAs of, say, Pankaj, and transfer it via radio waves to another planet, like we are doing now, to see whether aliens are there or not, living things are there or not. And then what happens, that we bring together that DNA in that planet, and then Pankaj again stands over there. So that way we shall transfer people, and then there'll be spaceships which can also be transported via teleporting, by disintegrating and bringing together, because every material has DNA quality. So once we understand the DNA, which is already happening, then it will be easier to go to planets much faster, and light year will not be a big hindrance. So that is also there. It's just that history is repeating itself, what Egyptians did or what we did. So yes.
Yeah, this teleporting idea is a it's an idea how it's going to take shape, whether it will take shape at all or not, because there are many complexities. But the idea is fantastic.
Very complex, but Yes, means in the sense as science is going by and artificial intelligence, robotics, and computerization is there. It's just that, when we are thinking about artificial intelligence and the algorithms, uh, we are thinking too intricately. The thing is that there will be a simple way to go about it, and our mind is a mystery. So, using our mind only, we can do many things which the sages and the hermits used to do. Because if you have to go to Kailash Parbat via the art of telepathy and body transference, if you have that much power, if you deal with your mind, that can be done. But we are going making it more complex than actually the mind wants to. So it will happen with time, but let us see.
So, Sharadji, do you believe in teleporting?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I believe in telepathy. Practices also teleporting and all other associate matters. I absolutely believe, yes, and it works also.
There is a news for you. I want to tell you, share with you that there is an organization in USA which is UN sanctioned. I am also a member of that.
Okay.
So they say that if you can show any paranormal activity means or supernatural thing like teleporting and all that, they will give you $50 million.
Oh, good, good. No, supernatural, paranormal activities, I fully believe, practice, and I'm also an expert in tantric vidya or what you call black magic. But though there are various months which are very powerful, which I have done a lot of hard work and many things you get from our ancestors. But then when I have practiced it, things have happened also, and many people have sixth sense. So one cannot disclose a sixth sense, but every person has some or the other sixth sense, and once it is practiced efficiently, it happens. Yes.
Oh, I see. No, what you can do is that if you can demonstrate that it is possible, then the organization is interested. Recently, what happened? They sent me a message that there is a person in Dehradun is claiming this $50 million. So I was asked to investigate that person, and that person he was an electrical engineer. He was in fact the executive engineer in Dehradun. He's a Bengali gentleman.
Yeah.
And I told him, what is it that you want to show? Then he told that what happens is that whenever I approach a tree, the tree starts shaking. So I told him that you send me a video of all those things, and he sent me. But ultimately, it turned out that it was all a fake thing. So it didn't
No,
work out.
people like us, many people who have the sixth sense, maybe I also will surely be having, they will not, the actual people will not disclose, but the people like when I had gone to Delhi, uh, I helped many people. But then when I had gone to Delhi, I had a meeting with, in Defense Colony, there is a very famous Aghor. So I was supposed to have a meeting with him. Then I had a meeting with one lady who lives in Karol Bagh. So she has a red light over here. So what happens that she has sixth sense. So she wanted some Shakti from me also. So the thing is that it all depends. Many people disclose that people who are actually who believe in it and who would give respect to those ideologies. And according to me, since I have myself experienced and practiced it, so I fully believe in it. And yes, if it's a it's a mind game. So yes, what you told, the 50 million thing. The thing is that it's a it's a mind game, and the more you practice in it, for example, the art of meditation. A new temple has been inaugurated by Narendra Modi ji in near Banaras. It has a big lotus on the top, and that is only for meditation. What Lord Shiva and all those used to previously do, the actual art of meditation. So get into the paranormal, supernatural, and all that. So one is the sixth sense and the actual art of meditation to connect, and then one goes about it. You can also lift your body and take your body, leaving the body, and go into different places. So that is possible. But yes, to give proof for that 50 million, when that is possible, it can surely be done. Yes.
Yeah, why not? Why not you encourage one of the जो अघोरी जो हैं? Can you tell one of them to demonstrate any supernatural thing, and we will be interested in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Like I
till,
was
till
telling day before yesterday, one a story that anyway, this friend of mine, he's here, very big businessman, in Calcutta, Jalans and all that. So anyway, he lost his very youngest brother. So he told that Sharan ji ek baar usse milna chahte hain and all that. So I helped him to meet him, although in his dream. But then mm, but then he was very happy about it. I'm going to meet him again in the middle of April. Presently, he has gone to Dubai. So it's a different science, and yes, people who practice respect it and go about. But then uh, again, when you deal with spirits or supernatural, you have to be careful also because, like Abhimanyu went into Chakravyuh, but he didn't know how to get out of it. So when you deal with those factors, you should know how to get out of it, and you should also know how to send the spirit back. So it's a different gameplay altogether, which we are aware of and do. But then we are very careful about getting spirit and sending it because it is not easy. But yes, apart from science, it's a different gameplay. But yes, it exists.
Basically, so no, we are interested in making scientific study of such supernatural and paranormal activities. So till date, this organization of which I am a part of has roughly about few thousands of cases we have studied.
Okay.
And well, all the results have been negative, but most of them have been in USA. So they want to expand to India and try to figure out if there are few things which are we have left.
No, there are many things. If you go further ahead from Yamunotri, Gangotri, then they may be putting in Guinness Book of World Records that people are living for 125, 130 years, Japanese, Chinese. But there are people who are doing penance for the past 600 years, 800 years, and they are doing in caves which, if you walk further from Yamunotri, Gangotri, there are caves above Uttarakhand where they are doing penance to get moksha instead of getting birth every time. So India has various mysteries, and once it happens in the family or once, but yes, as you told very correctly, a proof is required, and one has to put forward that proof. So
Right. किसी एक से मिलवाइए जरा, हम भी मिलना चाहते हैं.
जरूर हमारे बेल्जियम में एक है, वो भी साइंटिस्ट है. He has done a lot of scientists in coronavirus. So he is aware of how to go there, and one Dr. Manish Gupta to Yamunotri Gangotri above. And yes, we can surely call him also to talk once, and he can throw some light on that factor.
Sure. I think it would be nice.
Everybody is very interested. See, Apeksha is in year 7. Savita ji name I am seeing for the first time today. So very good to see new faces. And Pankaj ji is always the backbone. Thank you very much. So you had your
Thank you,
dinner,
sir.
Chaturanan?
So is it
You
time
must
to
have
close
finished
this
your
talk?
dinner, Chaturanan ji.
Yes.
You must have had your dinner. It's already 10:30.
No, I'll have it now.
Oh, okay. Oh, wonderful. Please have your dinner, and thank you.
All right. So I think it's almost, what time is it there in India? It's about
10:30, sir.
10:36.
10:30.
10:30.
Okay.
Yes.
So I think we should stick to our time.
Yes.
We'll now try to go like 9 to 10:30,
Yes.
so that people can go back to have dinner and other stuff. So let's thank Malik ji. Let's give him big applause of hand to him for giving us
Yes,
such
sir.
a wonderful understanding of atomic science. And I also want to thank children for coming today, and they learned from him. And this is very good opportunity. Every Thursday, I would encourage all the students, high school, college students, to join, and of course adults as well, because we need to learn also about science. So let's make effort to uncover science for all of us. And I would like to also remember on this day of physics talk our Kanad Rishi. I'm surprised that why Kanad Rishi was not considered a physicist. He was basically a first physicist of India, and I never see his pictures should be hanged on all walls in the Department of Physics, because he is the one, very first one, who came up with the idea that this whole thing is made up of Anu. That was his discovery. The word Anu was given by him, Anu and Paramanu. And he said that this whole cosmos, if you break into smaller particles, ultimately you will come to Anu. That was his. So that here you go, the physics. Now we are saying that electron, proton, neutron, and all these new particle like quark and all this. But thousands years back, he discovered that. So, and also he did a lot of other, like we give credit to Newton for gravitational laws. He already have proposed, he already had that one in Vaisheshik Shastra. So everybody should also study some Sanskrit text to discover the science which was in our old time. So I was surprised to find the gravitation laws, how the even the chemical bonding theories is all proposed by him in the Vaisheshik Darshan. And darshan, we consider it just a religious thing, so we kind of discard. But India has done a lot of work in that field. So I just wanted to remember him today for giving us the insight into that one. I recently read some portion of that book and I'm reading it. It's a very wonderful reading book. English translation is available. Those who want to read history of physics, definitely they should read that book. And with that, let's thank one more time Mallik ji for giving such a wonderful lecture today. And thank you, Mallik ji.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would be very happy if young people can take up to science and develop scientific attitude in their way of thinking and things like that. You know, it would be very nice. Thank you, Amarnath ji. Thank you, Sarad ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night.
Okay.
Good
Good night.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.